All right. What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for joining us in Pure Dimensions Rev. We're super excited to talk to you, beautiful people, because not only that we have us two beautiful women that know tech, but we also have Rich here. Rich is an amazing person. He has an amazing app. He knows a lot of good things about Zoom, and we have the honor and privilege to be talking to him right now. Super excited. Hi, Rich. How are you doing?
Hey, doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on today. Definitely appreciate it.
Amazing.
Awesome. So yeah, part of us guiding everybody into the future is how to set up a professional Zoom call. We are all on them. We all have to fidget with the cameras, the mics, making sure the Wi-Fi is on, all the details. And Rich has so kindly decided to show us his setup and show us how he gets such a professional look. Rich, you look great.
You look amazing.
You look professional.
I appreciate it. I mean, you guys look amazing yourselves. Sitting out there in Hollywood looks pretty awesome. Looks like
There it is.
I'd rather be sitting outside today.
Oh, hun. Come join us later.
Maybe our second podcast with you will be professional
yes,
outside.
you'll be
Zoom.
here with us.
Little spin-off.
Exactly. So, Rich, we did give you a little introduction as far as like who you are. Is there anything more? Yeah, you want to add as far as who you are? What do you like to tell about yourself to the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Richie Dishes. I'm the founder of Event Compass. It's actually a platform for connecting creators with brands and other partnerships. My background is pretty much mostly tech. I just happened to stumble into the creator space, and with all that in play, I had to set up kind of this professional setting to be able to do some live stream interviews that we do. We do an on-the-clock interview every Thursday at 7 o'clock with a different creator, brand, or sort of partner from the community. And so, yeah, I'm excited to sort of share that setup with you guys today.
Amazing.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, I see here you have, eight tech products that you use for this whole package?
8, ladies and gentlemen. Not 1, not 2, but 8. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot that goes into this. I mean, it may look pretty simple. Like you see some cool light behind you, and then you see, me kind of well lit in front of me, and that's it, right? But there's a lot that happens behind the scenes here. As you said, there's 8 different products involved, and each one of them sort of does its own part in being able to create this scene. And one thing you can really see in this scene is I'm well lit. My background is pretty cool and it looks nicely lit.
Mood.
And those two are not contrasting with each other. And then on top of that, you can see I look pretty crystal clear compared to like on a normal Zoom webcam, like where you have that interference. And that's because I'm using the camera that I actually used to do a lot of shoots with for this stream right now.
So is it high def?
So I can definitely talk about.
Is it HD?
Go ahead.
Is it high definition?
Yeah, so it's a full HD stream, and I could talk about one of those products that makes this possible. It is called a capture card. So the capture card that I'm using is by a brand called MyPin. You can get any kind of real video capture card, but the first key is that you will need a camera that has the ability to put out an HDMI output, and then you want to pipe that into your computer. So you buy a video capture card, and you connect that video capture card to your camera, and then you connect that that input into your computer, usually via like just regular USB or USB-C, depending on what kind of device that you have. And then that allows you to get this picture because you're setting up the camera settings now to allow you to stream that output through the capture card into your computer, which gives you sort of my wonderful face as it is right now.
Exactly. Crystal clear. I can
High
see you
def.
crystal clear, Rich. That's amazing.
So you have like a full high-powered computer? Is that right, that you have it plugged into?
No, so believe it or not, you can use any kind of laptop that can really just process. I mean, you want to have a little bit of computing power behind it, but believe it or not, I'm just running on a MacBook Pro. It's a new MacBook Pro, but you can run this on a 2016 MacBook.
I mean, the smallest little things have great computers in it, right?
Oh,
Our
yeah.
cell phones are like huge computers.
Yeah.
in such a small space. Would a cell phone or even an iPad work with this setup?
No, you would definitely need a laptop because of the USB input. So that's really the key points, is that you need something that has a USB input. So that can either be, pretty sure you could probably run it on Microsoft Surface, maybe a little more horsepower than that, or just a regular MacBook.
Oh, okay. That's so interesting.
Or
Wow.
or a Windows laptop.
What do you say to the audience listening to us that it's more convenient to be in a whole space, like a room or like a studio, as far as, you know, like for Zoom and stuff?
For the most professional
For the
Zoom.
professional Zoom, what do you suggest as far as like what type of location?
Yeah, believe it or not, with today's technology, location really doesn't matter. You just need to have the scene set up well. I think you'll see in some of our in some of the on-clock series we do. My partner actually is at her apartment, and it looks like that she's in a studio. But because of the way we set up that lighting, it looks more dynamic. So if you have a
Nice.
good back wall, which you just have some white wall behind you, you can put light or something else on that. And really, then it comes down to the camera angle, right? So the camera is going to define what's in frame, right? So a lot of people are actually doing their live streams. If you see some of these crazy live stream setups, it's somebody in like somebody's bedroom, and the camera is just set up in a way, and you have the lighting right, so you don't know that behind whatever else is going on away from the camera, nobody can see it. So really, you don't need a studio. You can set this up literally in very small space.
Wow.
And now, does this whole setup affect your Wi-Fi? Does it need more Wi-Fi to compute this high def?
That's a great question. So you definitely need bandwidth to be able to stream this kind of video. But you can pick up any kind of multi-band router, like an Eero or Google Home has a Wi-Fi capability. But yeah, if you're putting the signal over Wi-Fi, you definitely want a beefier router.
Wow. So interesting. Ooh, that's crazy.
Well, awesome. That is pretty much how you put together a professional Zoom, huh? We'll you sent us a picture
Yeah.
that we're
of
going
the
to share with
tools
everybody
and share.
that shows your whole setup. And we will share with everybody all the products on our website, pdrev.com, for you guys to purchase the same setup that Mr. Rich here has.
Absolutely. Do you recommend a certain mic for this type of environment that we're doing, the new Zoom, the new connection as far as technology? What do you recommend, Rich?
Yeah, definitely. So I think a couple things that we covered in this so far were the picture, right? How do you get a picture like this? But I think there are two other parts, right? There's the video, but then there's also the audio and the lighting, right? Because if I actually, you can watch this right now, if I turn off the lighting in front of me, the setup doesn't work so well anymore.
Who
right?
is this guy?
Yeah.
It's like something from Back to the Future. So there we go.
Or from those murder mysteries.
The murder mystery.
shows.
You're one of those guys right now, Rich, from Murder Mystery.
Hidden
So,
identity.
Yeah.
Like as you said, America's Most
Oh.
talking.
Now everyone will know how to do
No idea
that.
what's
Exactly.
going on. It's like, no, I did not do it in the kitchen with the knife.
That's
Like,
so hilarious to me. Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, thankfully you're not, America's Most Wanted. At least not in the violent way. You know what I'm saying? Not a criminal, definitely entrepreneur, which is great. But yeah,
The point is though, gotta get your lighting right.
that's true.
So,
Yeah. Awesome.
So if we talk about, you asked back around the microphone, and I can talk about the lighting, but it's important to have an external mic that is also either connected to the camera or connected to the computer. And actually, I prefer connected to the computer because that allows you to then put the video signal and the audio signal together, and you can then watch that and monitor that depending on what kind of software you want to use. So in this case, Zoom does all the work, which is nice. But if you're doing a live stream and you're using, a software package like Ecamm Live or other software packages for live streaming, you want to make sure that you're able to look at that audio and that video signal differently to make sure that it is what you want to put out.
Right.
So I prefer a microphone that can plug into the computer. And in this case, maybe you could share with me exactly what what model I'm using? I think you got the spec on that. What was that?
Yeah, let's double check on that real
The
quick.
model he's using?
Yeah, the model.
Here, check it's on the edgy.
Give us a minute, ladies and gentlemen, because we're gonna do some
Getting into the details.
getting
people.
into the details. Make sure we say it right. As far as the radio, external here.
Was it a mic? What is it?
Yeah.
There's a mic right there. The up one. Audio mic?
What? Okay. Cool.
It's a USB mic. And
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
we
the
see it.
one.
Yeah.
It's $39.99 right now.
Amazon, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! 5 stars
So
or
there's
4
tons
stars.
of these out there, but one of the things you want to pay attention to is that it is a USB mic and it is set up to essentially sample at a certain range. And so as you look, you can definitely look at different USB mics and make a choice. If you just usually look for something for live streaming, you can then hone in on which one's a good fit for you.
Wow.
One of the things this mic does is it cancels a lot of the noise, and if there's any like background or if someone yells outside, it'll actually cancel all that out. So all you can hear is me. And I think this is important because a lot of people don't realize that like a lot of video and a lot of live stream is also the audio quality. I don't know how many people have like listened to some people of audio quality and like when they're talking for a long time, you're like, oh man, like this is just hurting my ears. So I think it's important to have good audio quality when you're doing more professional live streams.
Agreed. So let's go into the lighting then. We went to the lighting, we went to audio, and then as far as background, correct? What is there? Like as far as little chips, as far as little wires, everything needs to be connected a certain way. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. So again, the lighting is actually one of the most important things about this setup, because if you don't get the lighting right, then we look like somebody from America's Most Wanted, or we look like something maybe just like looks cold, right? Oh man, or looks like red like a tomato.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh!
You watch, maybe someone's came.
Violet, you're turning violet.
It looked like red as a tomato. That's because the lighting has not been adjusted.
Oh,
So,
I see. That's so cool.
A lot of people will buy one of the devices in front of me. I actually use a 19-inch ring light, and probably a lot of you are familiar. A lot of you have done studio work, so you're familiar with how the ring light works. It provides a nice shade of light on you, which gives you that natural skin color. You can, based on your tone of skin, you can warm it or cool it, getting that nice effect on your face. It's not just good for good portrait photography and use in studios. It's also good for live streams because it gives you that same effect that you would want in a portrait type setting.
I see.
Right? So really, when you're doing a live stream, you're more or less setting up the same setting that you would if someone was taking a portrait photo of you.
Nice.
Very cool.
Very similar.
So,
So there's that front light, which is the light as I put my hand up, you just see that light there.
Yeah.
That's that front light. That's that nice ring light. And then we have this behind us, which looks incredibly fancy, but is actually pretty easy to set up. It's just a few LED lights that you're able to, get on Amazon for very cheap. And again, you guys have the list of links to this magic setup that I have in place.
Ooh.
But the key is that you need to separate the front light from the back light enough to give you this contrast where if I continue to move back, I start to get lost by that back light. So you need to make sure that you at least have enough space and enough light in the background where it's not, coming to the front and it's interfering with the front light. So that's another, again, back to the lighting technique, that's incredibly important in setting this up.
Right.
Those LED lights, it's really nice. You can get those and then you can just like change the color on them to have like whatever effect that you're looking for. Depending on what you're
whoa.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's one of the
That's
reasons
cool.
why
Is that powered by your phone?
What's up?
Is that powered by your phone? Did you change the light just On
Yeah, I
your
was
phone?
changing it on my phone.
Yes.
There's a simple app with this lighting that you can get. It's super easy. The lights actually connect via Bluetooth to the phone, and so then you have control. You can actually control each of the individual lights to create, more of the weird setting, or you can link them all together to have them all controlled at the same
That's
time.
so cool.
Fun fact, did you know the Staples Center uses all their lighting system from the phone?
It's Bluetooth.
Boop, 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 and it all turns down. It's incredible.
That's awesome.
That's cool that you have the same technology in your
That's
house.
awesome. Very cool.
Staples Center, imagine that. And I mean, that's the difference between technology today is it's available to anybody. In fact, the lights that I have in the background, I think are around $30, maybe if that. I'm not exactly sure what the price tag is, but it's very affordable. And they're an LED light. They're gonna last a long time. Like,
Really
you can
good.
run these things for and ever. In fact, sometimes I'll do calls back here when I'm not, setting up this setup, and I'll just turn those on to like just regular natural light, and
Exactly.
That's very cool. So, someone who is just now setting up their professional Zoom, what would be the first thing they should buy out of your whole setup?
yeah, absolutely. So the first thing you need to have, it's an interesting question because I would say for a professional Zoom, the first thing you want to have is the professional camera. Now, with that said, a lot of people don't have, what's in front of me right now is my A7 III, which is what I use for photo and video shoots that I do as well. But again, that price tag there is anywhere from for the body on that, and the lens is pricey. So you can get a similar setup by just getting a camera that you can plug in from your computer. You can clip onto your laptop and plug in via USB, and you can get actually a pretty good crisp picture doing that. And then I would say the next step though would just be getting the lighting and sound right.
Lighting.
Those are really the
That's
two
awesome.
things. So, the lighting is pretty easy to do, and then the background lighting is nice and cheap as well. So you can get actually a very good setup for pretty cheap without the professional camera. Again, the professional camera just really brings, I think, the picture to life. But YouTube only accepts about 1080 HD anyways, so you won't get unless you're paying that upgrade. You're not going to get the extra 4K resolution there.
Right.
I got you.
Stuff. So you can actually use a cheaper camera setup for that. Yeah.
Wow. So the first thing here to buy, ladies and gentlemen, is a camera. Just start. Get a camera, get started. And if you have the big bucks, get the big get the high quality.
Yeah, if you're already shooting, if you're already doing photo shoots, the great thing is you already have a camera for the setup. And a lot of people don't realize that. Once you have that, you can now just plug in the capture card, you're good to go. If you don't have that, it's pretty easy to get a cheaper camera to set up.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
Wow.
Well,
So what do you want to, I want to ask you this one last question, Rich. As far as Zoom, as far as podcasts, what's your understanding of it? How important you think it is? How much value has it brought to the world since COVID? I want to know this about you.
Yeah, so I don't just think podcasts because of COVID are critical. I think because of the direction that we're headed in the technology world, in the professional world, the business world, you're presenting, you're doing business activities with people overseas, with people in different places, and people are no longer really have to fully get together if you can set up a professional conversation. And I think the more professional you look, especially not maybe just for Zoom calls, but for high clients, but also for any kind of live streaming that you're doing, any kind of podcast you're doing, it's super important to have a professional feel behind that, because the audience will just take you that much more seriously, and I think that's what.
Right. Wow, that's so interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Rich. I think everybody knows a lot more about Zoom and how to look more professional.
Exactly.
So thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great week.
Yeah, thank you so much. I am very appreciative, first and foremost, Rich. Thank you so much for giving us more, education, getting more into depth about what it really takes to make a Zoom, professional Zoom. And a lot of people are doing this for their business anyways. Even if you do work for a company, people want this type of look. It looks more professional, more approachable.
Yeah.
So I think
there's
it's
so
very
many
important.
New consumers for it.
Ooh,
So
new
I think this
consumers.
will be a lot of help for those
Exactly,
folks too.
exactly. Is there any last final words you would like to say, Rich? Any shout
I
outs?
just wanted to say, I think what you guys are doing is great. I think connecting, people in your community with the necessary information about certain technologies is super important. So I just want to thank you guys for all the efforts you guys are doing with PD Red.
Thank
And I'm super excited that I was able to be a part of this and share, some of my technical background with you guys. Yeah, I'm excited about what you guys are doing and where this can go, and the community that you guys are talking with. I think is a great place to start. So.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
For all these amazing people watching us online, thank you so much once again. We're super excited and can't wait to talk to you guys on the next podcast. Go ahead and check out pdrev.com. We have all of our Shopify links there. All the tools and materials that Rich was talking about will be available there as well. So we can't wait to see you guys. Comment below, subscribe. See you guys next time. Oh my God, I love it. That was great.
That's a
That was
wrap,
so
everybody.
great.